a grim start to a podcast.
Yeah, who's going to break first?
Yeah, I feel like we've been on for a good minute.
Deep sighs and me grasping papers and notes from a...
Like Walter Cronkite having to tell America that Pearl Harbor was bombed for a second time.
I come to you with heavy news today. America is being besieged by another episode of Candy is Dandy. That's right. Candy is Dandy. For anybody just joining us, I'm Daniel Zaffron.
Greg Gonzalez.
And the noise gate will cancel out both of those people's names. So this is Candy is Dandy, the Candy Review Podcast. If anyone, the world's only Candy Review podcast. And also, we're the only people reviewing candy, period. Nobody who eats candy has any opinion on it but us.
But yeah, no, everyone else finishes it too fast, but us, we go slow.
We savor it. And if anyone has any opinion on candy, we shoot them. So just to give a quick rundown on how the show is going to work and how it will always work, we'll talk a little bit. We'll do some candy news. We have a candy every week. We'll try the candy. We'll rate it and review it. We'll play a little game. That's how the show's going to work. But before we get into the show, we've got some top of the show.
Top of the show. Oh, top of the show to you. Top of the show to you.
We should also explain, whenever anything vaguely Irish comes up, we all do the worst leprechaun impression we could possibly muster.
Yeah, Greg lands on a Scottish accent, which isn't the same, but we don't correct him because it's just too much work.
Close enough.
I just end up doing Shrek.
Donkey.
Donkey. Here's my Shrek. Donkey.
Do I make you horny?
So my top of the show thing is a recommendation of, let's just say, maybe a sister podcast of us of sorts.
The Marsha to our Jan?
Yeah, the Betty to our Veronica.
That's right.
They're not
Not
sisters.
sisters.
Boy, does Archie wish that they were sisters, the pervert. This is a show we want to recommend called the Weed and Grub Podcast.
I already like it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, according to Daniel this morning, downing a bunch of CBD, I think he would like the show more.
Let's take a peek behind the Candy is Dandy a little bit. I'll give you a glimpse into my vices and my problems. I have a little bit of jaw trouble. I have some TMJ in my jaw. So I took a little THC-free CBD before we started recording.
Oh, boring.
So if I start tasting purple or whatever, then just blame it on some good old-fashioned American CBD.
My jaw problem is that there's no CBD on it.
Yeah, my jaw problem is there's no THC in this CBD, am I right? So the Weed and Grub Podcast, it's marijuana-based and food-based, which is why they're kind of our, they're our naughty sister. They're the sister that all of our friends want to date.
Yeah. Your sister's hot, man.
Yeah. Get away from her. She does CBD. You don't want to mess with that. Vulture has said about them, they're true experts in comedy and marijuana, and Snoop Dogg's website actually called them
Wow.
Beautiful Stoner Gastronauts. Isn't it nice that our sister podcast is friends with Snoop Dogg?
I think that's incredible.
That's amazing.
That's a real stamp of legitimacy when Snoop Dogg's like they get high.
Yeah, but Dr. Dre once said about Candy is Dandy.
He once said that I've never heard of this podcast and stop calling my office.
Is this a new Eminem lyric? Raves Dr. Dre. It's Mike, and believe it or not, her name's Mary Jane. I think we need to change our names to like Charleston Chew. Greg would be Charleston Chew.
Yeah. Baby Ruth.
Oh, Baby Ruth. I'll be Baby Ruth. Who do you want to be?
I'll be
Carlos the Fifth.
No,
I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
I'll put the papers in after this. But we will have to remarry Melissa for tax purposes.
I'm not paying for a second wedding.
All right, we'll do it at Taco Bell. They smoke marijuana, they snack, and they talk with people like Megan Rapinoe, David Crosby, which is crazy.
Wow,
that
that's
David
great.
Crosby, the now dead David Crosby.
Yeah.
Not because of this.
Yeah, separate reasons.
David Crosby, Trixie Mattel, Roxanne Gay, Chef Roy Choi, and Jordan Morris.
Whoa, all right.
They'll talk about like Costco hot dogs, Prince Harry's ayahuasca trip, which apparently to think about a royal diarrhea in his pants is boy.
It must be protected at all costs.
They've talked about the perfect burger ingredient stacking order. It's not what you think. You can follow Mary Jane's journey with therapeutic ketamine and other psychedelics. You can listen to Mike's wild conspiracy theories. That makes no sense, but he is very confident about them. So you can find Weed and Grub everywhere you get your podcasts and on YouTube. But we want to recommend the top of the show. It's not just some thing one of us forgot to say in a previous episode. It's all called recommendations we have for things.
That sounds, maybe because I'm starving, but you saying all those words and just specifically Costco hot dog.
Yeah, you had me at
stomach,
Costco.
Yeah, my stomach already.
You had me at Prince Harry's ayahuasca trip.
Diarrhea adventure. What's written on the back of the pages that you printed?
Well, I like to reuse paper, and this one I accidentally printed my P.O. box sticker labels for mailing people stuff so that they won't know where I live.
Right.
And I accidentally used regular paper, so now I have my all work and no play, make Daniel Zaffron P.O. Box 5611.
I had thought that you had printed like when a 10-year-old's like, I'm gonna make business cards. Yeah. It looked like that from where I'm sitting.
I'm gonna cut them out of my regular paper. Okay, I make mistakes too. Sometimes I take a little too much CBD and I use the wrong printer paper.
Sometimes I just drive up to a drive-through window and forget that I ordered, and I just stare at them.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Well, when I've done ayahuasca with Prince Harry, where's the nearest bathroom? So we're moving on to the next part of the show. Mm-hmm. We've got a beloved segment known as Candy News.
Hello, Candy News Boy here.
He's back.
And I'm here to say
Wait a minute. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, get back here. You're going to want to hear about this.
And I'm here to say that it's time for a change, and I'm tired of this shite anyway. Living in your basement every night and day, surviving off big hunks and fighting the rats away. Oh, God, there's so many bloody rats. So get your own damn news, diabetic. Carl Tucker.
Carl Tucker? I'm diabetic Carl Tucker.
Are the rats candy?
Mic drop, motherfucker.
Oh my God. This is the biggest explicit warning.
You leave him in a room with no lights and a bunch of rats, and I told you this would happen.
We leave him with blurbs from Snoop Dogg about different podcasts, and this is what we get. This is the rudest little Candy News Boy I've ever heard.
Your show sucks.
Oh my God.
What? I give it 0 cavities out of 5.
You should be so lucky to have 0 cavities, Newsboy.
I'm out of here.
Oh my God.
We didn't even get our news.
Yeah, can you at least leave the news? Oh my God. He left it in the most rap way possible.
Immediately going to leave this building and make $4.5 million in the streets.
He's going places.
Well, Dr. Dre does hang out outside of the recording studio in case any rappers walk out, which is now twice actually with Carl Tart.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Tart and the Candy Newsboy. So we're
a rap factory.
The Candy is dandy. Dr. Dre pipeline is going strong. I'm going to ignore all the mean things that the Candy Newsboy said about us. Take it from someone who's done a lot of freestyle on 8 Mile. You just, whatever, even if you don't mean it, you just say whatever comes to the top of your mind.
Comes to heart.
So, he doesn't mean anything he says, and he'll be back in the dungeon.
Begging to go back in the dungeon.
Yeah.
We're going to see him again.
Yeah. And I have to just say, all mean things rhyme, unfortunately. Nice things don't rhyme, but mean things, they all sound alike. So it's easy to rap that stuff. And I'm not going to be mad at him when he comes back.
Well, next week, I think he might be a country singer who's only going to say nice things. And if he isn't a country singer, there will be hell to pay from the Candy Newsboy.
I'll get on that.
The world's nicest country singer.
I got to stitch a hat real quick.
So this Candy News.
Yes.
As you know, they all have names.
Oh, man.
Unfortunately.
This one is called, what, you like it when the Candy Newsboy raps? You don't like it when the Candy Newsman has puns for you? So this one's called Skittle Me This.
Oh God.
Yeah. This one's good. I like that one.
Yeah? You're into that?
Okay. What do you mean? Why'd you put the emphasis on this?
I mean, they're all good.
Yeah, they're all words.
They're all words, and I'm here to say Daniel really knows how to play. This past July, a California man brought a lawsuit against Mars, not the planet, claiming that their Skittles were unfit for human consumption.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Due to elevated levels of titanium dioxide found inside the titular rainbow tinted circles. This is the second Candy News, I think, in a row of there's too many heavy metals in our candy.
Not enough.
If we can't even taste the rainbow anymore, what have we done to our planet?
There's not enough heavy metal in the charts. Yeah. It's all in the candy now.
We're tasting the periodic table now.
They've expanded their operations.
Ooh, tungsten. That sounds good. I'll have 2 of those.
Acid rainbow. So many foods use titanium dioxide as coloring, but while the European Union banned it in foods last year because it could possibly damage your DNA, the FDA allows...
their DNA is so gray. We don't want to damage it.
Well, it's different in Europe. It's a higher fat content.
Yeah, they measure DNA in meters.
They call it DNR. That's a do not resuscitate. Well, it applies. So the FDA in America, the good old American health board, I guess that's what they are. They allow certain levels of it, which Mars claims it is within the range of, even though they had vowed to eliminate them in their Skittles by 2021. But they're still in there. He claimed that the notification of this substance is on a hard to read part on the back of the packaging of Skittles, and that it's misleading to customers.
Red lettering on a red
wrapper.
Yeah. It's pretty hard to read. You have to.
If you know how to do a magic eye, you can read it. He also pointed out that Sour Patch Kids, Swedish Fish, and Nerds, no, don't get upset. They all managed to come in just as vibrant colors without the use
my God, I'm
of
so
titanium.
scared.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
To think there might be a chemical in my Sour Patch Kids. This mysterious California man, however, has dismissed his own case for some reason, but I think we should check his tongue and see how rainbow colored it is. I think he was paid off by
think he was paid off?
Skittles
Check his
Corporation.
bank account.
I think he's dead. I think he's dead in the desert somewhere,
Yeah.
buried with a bunch of Skittles.
Just follow the rainbow. trail.
Exactly. A leprechaun in Ireland will lead you to a pot of gold. In America, it leads you to
A dead
body
body,
that-
crime scene. Yeah.
that the Mars Corporation has created.
So it'd be interesting. Do they currently sell Skittles in Europe? And are they a different?
They must be. I mean, I
They're
can't.
all gray.
You know what? That's a good. It's the same color tone as every World War II movie. That's a good. I mean, there's got to be Skittles in Europe. Like, hey, we have European listeners. Are there Skittles in
Yeah.
Europe? That's going to be the like "We Are the World" song we're going to record. Are there Skittles in Europe? But I would imagine that they just don't use the titanium dioxide, and I'm sure it's
Yeah. So they already, if they're already doing two separate,
maybe it's more expensive.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, follow the money. we know this. That guy in the parking lot told us this.
Yeah.
Straight to his bank account.
So that's been candy news. Do we have a rebuttal rap? Also from the Candy News Boy? Because the other two can't rap?
We do not.
Well, I told you he'd be back.
Not for free. He won't do it for free anymore.
You side with Dre, dude. It's going to be a whole
Maybe
thing.
if you buy his new album by
Candy News
by
Boy.
Candy NWZ on Death Row Records, then maybe you can hear the rebuttal.
Yeah, he said we'll be able to listen to it early, but we have to go to the studios. He's not going to send us a link or anything like that. We have to actually go on his turf.
And we have to listen with one headphone on.
Yeah.
Because that's the cool
That's
way
the cool way to do it. Yeah. And he won't tell us if we can wear red or blue, and which one is preferred when we enter the building.
But all my shirts have so much titanium dioxide in them. Okay, so we're going now. Greg.
Yes.
You have picked this week's candy.
I have.
Okay, how did this come to be? You tell us.
This is sent to us by a listener, Olivia Lind from Nashville, who just moved to Los Angeles. She's a fan of LA Meekly, so this is why she transferred over to
And who
Candy
isn't?
Dandy.
Yeah, she transferred.
Yeah, she transferred. You can't listen to both. She is the host of the Flat Rock podcast, but she sent us something, a Nashville
so
candy
nice.
called a Goo Goo Cluster, which none of us had heard of. Correct?
I know what Goo Goo Clusters are.
Really?
I know Goo Goo
Oh,
Clusters.
excuse me, Mr.
I'm unaware of Goo Goos.
Wait, so neither of you had never heard of a
I
Goo Goo
never heard
Cluster?
of a
I've
Goo Goo
never heard of a
Cluster.
Goo Goo Cluster.
I've never had a Goo Goo Cluster, but I've heard of Goo Goo Clusters because there are a few places around. Like I said, I think Rite Aid has them. Stores that are a little more serious about their candy selections have them.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll find one at Ralph's, but
And where do you find these? Like next to the spiced orange slices?
where do you find these? Next to the trash can?
I found one at Costco's World Market, of course, which just takes candy very seriously, especially import candy.
Well, that's their slogan.
That's
we
their
take
slogan.
candy very seriously.
It was on the checkout line. I didn't know that you found them at Rite Aid, though. That would have been a lot easier for me.
I didn't. I'm pretty sure they're at Rite Aid because
Okay.
Rite Aid seem to have a very big, and I'm pretty sure because they have those big cherries,
Oh, right,
It's
yeah.
in the
In the
Bada
pink-
Bings, the pink, whatever
pink
they're
package,
called.
yeah.
The Bada
Big
Bing.
cherries.
Yeah,
The big cherry.
Bada bing.
The Bada Bing.
What do
Yeah.
you do? Is like a
Dude,
hard
no, wait.
candy, a gooey candy? What is a
Wait,
big
let's say it
cherry?
again, Greg. The big cherry. Bada Bing.
Bada bing.
Bada bing?
I think it's a chocolate covered cherry.
Yeah, it's
probably.
like a giant
yeah.
chocolate covered
All right.
cherry.
Yeah,
But
something like that.
this is a similar sort of thing of oldish candy.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, you can find all the old stuff at CVS.
Yeah,
sometimes.
this is along the lines of those Idaho Spuds and stuff like
Oh,
that.
right.
Then again, I've never had one.
Of all the old candies, I can say that this is probably among the best.
Because you ate one beforehand. You
Yes,
cheated.
I cheated
obviously.
because after
Cheater.
doing research, I thought there's no way I can't not eat this right now. This sounds too delicious. So let's get into the history of it. Unless you
Yeah.
have a clever retort.
No, it's on my. You're the one.
I'm so clever
This
today.
isn't my episode. It's your job to come up with clever retorts. He raps.
Yo!
How do we change jobs?
Goo goo goo. I'm a baby.
Yeah.
That's a rap, right?
Goo Goo Gaga, who's your mama?
Wait, I've got another one. Goo 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 goo. I made a poo poo.
perfect. That is the top.
Okay, if we don't get written up in Snoop Dogg's website for this, I mean, then what do we have to do?
Yeah.
What do we have to do, Snoop Dogg?
Tell us, Snoop.
Yeah. If you're Snoop Dogg and you're listening to us, please tell
me
us.
how high I have to get right now to get you to listen. I'll do it. So a Goo Goo Cluster, for those who don't know.
I don't know.
It's a cluster. It's filled with caramel. At one point, it had marshmallow. I don't think they have marshmallows anymore, according to this package here.
No, it's
nougat.
nougat.
The nougat looks very marshmallow.
It looks like a marshmallow.
Yeah. Nougat, fresh roasted peanuts, and real milk chocolate.
Wow. It sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And this is a Southern delicacy, which is why the person sent it, because she wanted us to stop doing Southern accents.
Yeah, she added the note to please stop doing Southern accents.
Yeah, she did. There was a note in the package.
Do we do Southern accents?
I think more so on L.A. Meekley.
L.A. Meekley made a kind of habit of...
We do Irish accents on the show, but in our defense... We're not doing Southern accents. We're doing an imitation of Gomer Pyle. Is what we're doing
fair.
whenever we do a Southern accent.
That is fair. I think my response was like, well, we're just... everything I heard off of Andy Griffith.
But that's what they sound like.
Yeah.
But when I hear Goo Goo Clusters, I think more of Cary Grant. Goo Goo Cluster.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to eat a Goo Goo Cluster.
And this isn't Andrew Dice Clay?
Okay, let me... Hickory dickory dock. I've got a Goo Goo Cluster on my what? That's my Andrew Dice Clay.
It's just as bad. So the Goo Goo Cluster, we're going to start with a man named Howard Campbell Sr., who was born in Nashville in 1883.
Wow.
Out of school, he worked as a shipping clerk for the Hooper Grocery Company before the 19-year-old opened his own candy company in 1901, the Anchor Candy Company at Clark Street and First Avenue North. I like when I write cross streets down for a city I've never been in before.
Oh, such a beautiful cross street.
The Meekley has taught me like they need to know where it's at, but I have no idea.
Well, our Nashville listeners will appreciate it.
Yeah, I can hear them firing guns in the air.
They'll sound a little something like this.
Gunshot.
Goo Goo, thank you for talking about my Goo Goo Clusters.
We can just cut in a sound of Yosemite Sam, and there I go again. Anchor Candy Co. was a small company with a handful of employees and 2 copper kettles. This is 1901 after all. 2 years later, he changed things up and took on the name Standard Candy Company, which is less fun but more authoritative. Like this is a candy from the Standard Candy Company. The Standard Candy.
This is normal candy.
In the beginning, Standard was making lollipops, New Joy hard and bag candies, marshmallows, and Bal Camp fine chocolates. That was kind of their...
What's a New Joy bag candy?
A hard and bag candy? I imagine it's like suckers. Like it came in a bag, probably.
Okay. Well, it sounds like bad candy is what you're trying to say.
You hate a good time.
Take that, Nashville.
Take that, Nashville in 1910. Come 1912, the plant manager Porter Moore created what is said to be the first combination candy, meaning the first multi-ingredient candy bar. Moore put together a glob of caramel, marshmallow, and roasted peanuts and dipped it all into chocolate by hand.
The first of their company.
What year was this?
1912.
And now answer my question.
I've read several times that it was the first combination candy.
I remember, I think for the Toblerone episode, that they were the first chocolate to have stuff in it.
What year was that? 1913?
What year was yours again?
This is 1912.
Oh, yeah, it was 1911 and a half.
Maybe it meant in America.
It's got to be America.
But I did read several times it was the first combination candy.
We know that this is before Mars Bar, or not. Yeah,
it's also before
Snickers
both World Wars, so maybe I'm trying to remember my Toblerone history. But the Alps were created for World War II.
Well, the Toblerone line was always there for defenses against cows.
The new concoction relied on the freshest ingredients and a blended chocolate covering. Working with his boss, Howard Campbell, the two began selling this new chocolate confection unwrapped out of Nashville drugstores, and is said to be an overnight sensation. But what to call it?
Was it always the same size?
I want to say
it's pretty hefty.
It's pretty hefty.
It's really hefty.
I got no notes on the size, but I want to say, yeah. Trying to fit all that stuff in together, they probably, like a big cluster, must have been like a handful, I
mean, because you can get loose, like pecan turtles or like those ones that
are
like
a chocolate
caramel thing. And that's about the same size as this is.
Yeah, maybe. It was probably, I want to say it was about the same size. So what to call it?
And that's definitive.
That's standard.
Probably.
that's the standard candy promise.
Again, what are you going to call this big stupid thing? Not even the men who created it had a good idea. Many people would later speculate the name would come from their sponsor, the Grand Ole Opry radio program, GOO.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Goo.
Goo. As everyone knows it as goo.
Mom, goo's on. But this gooey
But
candy.
Mom, I want to watch the goo.
Oh, there
It's
it is.
back, it's back.
There it is.
We were asked to not do that.
I merely rolled my tongue. It wasn't an accent.
I gotta catch Hank Williams on the goo. This gooey candy predates.
Is Goop
Gwyneth Paltrow's thing?
Is Gwyneth Paltrow's company named after the Grand Ole Opry
Yeah,
too?
Grand Old Opry Paltrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her full name.
And if you could buy a candle that tastes like the Grand Old Opry, or not tastes like, but smells like, I somehow made it even more disgusting than it already is.
We know that you like to eat candles, wax, and lotion, so it's not a stretch. But this candy, this gooey candy here, predates the Grand Old Opry by over a decade.
All right.
So the truer story is that
Yeah.
Campbell was out in public telling people about his infant son and how he uttered his first words. Goo goo.
Okay, that's generous to say those are his first words.
And that's funny. That's his
What does Goo Goo mean?
Yeah.
Grand Old Opry.
His first words were, "Where is the Grand Ole Opry?"
Wearing a little cowboy hat. At that point, after talking about his son's first words, a school teacher pitched the idea right back to Campbell as the name of his new gooey candy, the Goo Goo Cluster.
That makes, I mean, gooey,
Gooey,
goo goo.
yeah.
That makes the most sense of all these stories. Like, there's so many weird stories of like, this is how this candy was made, but in reality, it's like, well, it's gooey.
Yeah, it's gooey, so we called it the gooey. The tagline wrote itself, Goo Goo, people will ask for it from birth.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
See, that's nice. That's
Oh,
Don Draper
wow.
level advertising.
Well done.
Peggy, I need a goo goo.
Peggy Goo Goo. And she's like writing it down.
Peggy, goo 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 goo. I made a poo poo. Peggy, Peggy, call Snoop Dogg.
Okay. Whether that's the true story or just a cute company lore, the memorable name was secondary to the candy. People were raving about this combination candy cluster that brought together different tastes and textures, which, according to their company website, had never been done before. It was also kind of thick, thus kind of filling the way eating a Snickers is kind of filling. It had a lot
It's
of
a lot
different
of
foods in
nuts.
it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what is it, like 16 in a peanut in a Snickers? 16
Yeah,
peanuts?
something like that.
Yeah.
It's way more than 16.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Look at that.
That's one of our jobs that count.
If that's to scale.
There's like one giant peanut on it. Yeah, because there's an animation. That's how we know what we're looking at. Because there's a drawing on the. It's like a rendering.
Yeah, it's a
more
rendering,
on the cover here.
It's a police sketch. Yeah.
It has an eye patch and a limb. It's carrying a cane and pointing a gun at me.
Last seen at Alhambra 7-Eleven.
Last seen at Rite Aid, we think. But yeah, it is chock full of peanuts.
Yeah, it's
this
dense.
thing.
Yeah.
This thing
Yeah.
is really dense.
It looks like a rock troll.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all played The Witcher.
One of the Goo Goo Clusters marketing, so we're talking about how it's filling. One of the Goo Goo Clusters marketing slogans was a nourishing lunch for a nickel, which is sure. That
Okay,
works.
we've had some bad advertising people in recent episodes. This is good.
Yeah, this is very
advertising.
good. Yeah, you don't even have to put a knife in this little Goo Goo Cluster like the way you did with Sour Patch Kids. Like, he'll kill you if you don't eat this. Yeah, they don't even have to do that. Another slogan for Goo Goo was "Go get a Goo Goo, it's good," which is a
Okay,
That's a
yeah.
second-
They can't all be winners.
yeah, it's a first draft one.
I get not even Babe Ruth got a hole in one.
Yeah, you let Pete Campbell pitch an idea, it's gonna be bad.
You miss 100% of the goo goo. I made a poop.
So there was a fire in 1914. So operations for the Standard Candy Company had a fire in 1914. So they had to move to a larger building on 2nd Avenue North. In 1969 is when the Grand Ole Opry began sponsoring Goo Goo Clusters. And not long after that, the two became heavily intertwined. Because of the link, Goo Goo Clusters sort of became the candy of the South. Like Tennessee could put a Goo Goo Cluster on the state flag and people wouldn't argue with it. They'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
They've elected as governor of Tennessee a Goo Goo Cluster.
And he has a pretty bad past.
And he does not like Disney.
He's trying to get a lot of textbooks out of schools right now.
He believes life begins at Gaga.
Campbell's son, Howard Jr., who had opened his own candy company after World War II, the Huggins Candy Company, took over operations of the Standard Candy Co. after his father retired. But in 1974, he sold the candy company to a pair of business owners, James Fisher and James Miller, for $1 million, the Jameses. From
Wow.
that's cheap.
What year?
1974.
That's cheap.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I mean, it's more for, but that's still pretty cheap
Yeah,
to
that's
buy.
not like amazing. That's not terrible.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we'll go to the bank. Yeah, okay. That money's in the bank.
I'll deposit
Yeah,
it.
I'm desperate enough.
Yeah, I'm desperate enough to go to the bank. Yeah. From that point, Standard stopped being a mom and pop operation that made $1 million and grew to be more of a modern business model that made $1 million. They moved the factory to a bigger building at 715 Massman Drive. I believe it's still there right now. The move itself put the company in debt and operations fell behind on schedule. A drought in 1980 meant that peanut crops were limping, which means resources were low, and Standard lost $400,000 in a year, which is a lot of money.
That's almost half the value of the company.
Yeah, really. Around this time, a young business graduate named James Spradley responded to an open position ad at the Standard Candy Company, only to find that there was no job opening, and also the company was struggling. So he called upon his retired father, another Nashville candy man who ran Stuckey's, which was and still is like a famous for pecan candies.
Okay.
The Spradleys met with the Jameses who owned the Standard Candy Company, and that's when the Spradleys took over, buying out the Jameses and keeping James Fisher as a silent partner. It wasn't long before James Spradley Jr. took over as president, and since the Goo Goo Cluster was good as is, the focusing for him was more on marketing than reinventing the chocolate-covered wheel.
Okay.
That being said, the Goo Goo Cluster has many siblings. There's the Pecan Goo Goos, which is the marriage of the two companies now. The Peanut Butter Goo Goos, the bite-sized one known as Little Goose.
Baby Goose.
Baby Goose. And the premium fluffier Crunch Goo Goo, which might have the marshmallow.
What's that called? A fluffy Goo Goo? Have you ever gotten a fluffy Goo Goo before?
Fluffy Goo Goo? Not for free. Never around family.
Not without the press finding out.
The Goo Goo Supreme replaced peanuts with...
God, how big is that?
It needs to be like a wheelbarrowed into a room.
Emperor Goo Goo.
Yeah. They replaced peanuts with pecans for that one. And there's...
Well, then what's the difference between that and the pecan Goo Goo?
I think it has probably both peanuts and pecans,
wow.
maybe? Well, that would be the
Too much
Supreme.
nut.
I'm surprised they didn't start with pecans. Actually.
Yeah.
Well, they like peanuts in the South. What's more popular in the South, peanuts or pecans?
We should ask. Pecan seems like a real...
I guess it probably depends.
Because there's not peanut pie. There's
Peanut pie. Peanut pie. Which is mostly...
Wait a minute. What do you mean there's not peanut pie? Southern listeners, tell us, what's more popular, peanuts or pecans?
We're going to get like an envelope in the mail just full of pecans. Like, I have my answer.
He sleeps with the pecans now.
And there's also an ice cream company out of Illinois which puts Goo Goo Clusters in their ice cream. The Goo Goo Cluster
Nice.
website also have a design your own Goo Goo that you could do through them.
I could do?
I could do a Goo Goo?
Wait a minute. So you can, what do you design? Like how many, like what?
I guess
probably
you...
the ingredients.
Yeah, the ingredients.
So I could put anything I want in a Goo Goo
I'm sure they
cluster?
have like a list you could pull down from and like, choose 5. But like, I haven't done it. But
You put Snickers in your Goo Goos.
Could I put a better candy in my Goo Goo?
immediate heart attack.
Could I put titanium dioxide in my Goo Goo?
My Goo Goo's glowing. A glowy Goo Goo. Spradley believed that the Goo Goo Cluster was good enough to break out of the regional market of the South and make a name for itself in other parts of the country.
Nope.
Like every country music star. I could break out of the Grand Ole Opry and go west.
It reaches, if my research is correct, 1 out of 3 Californians.
He worked hard at contracting out the combination candy, and soon you can get a Goo Goo in Kansas City, you can get a Goo Goo in Baltimore, you can get a Goo Goo in Pittsburgh, you get a Goo Goo in Cleveland.
And if I'm elected president,
you get a Goo Goo
we
in
will get
Detroit,
a Goo Goo in Berlin.
a Goo Goo in Washington, D.C.
Put our Goo Goo on the moon.
That's it. That's what he said.
It never quite became a household name nor a selection in the impulse buy section, not in Southern California anyways, but people stand by this candy as one of the best out there. Hey, I believe it. After doing the research and eating one, I'm like, I get it. This is one of the best out there. The internet has helped.
Take it with a grain of salt. He gave a look bar a 5. Go on.
I didn't give it a...
You did. You gave it a 5. You gave it a
Did you
5. Greg.
really?
He gave it a 5.
I would've
He gave
gave
it a 5. Can we believe this?
I would have given it a 6.
And I'll do it again.
6 out of 5. That's one of the best candies out there.
I'll give it a full-on root canal.
I'm just tasting the chocolate and the stretchy. Oh, it's perfect.
the stretchy
The
flavor.
stretchy flavor. Taste the stretch. The internet has helped Goo Goo Clusters move around the world more freely as fans of Grand Ole Opry who are familiar with the name Goo Goo, who are not in the South, could finally taste one. Like if you knew the name from the radio program but never had one, the internet had helped you order one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
See, that's so weird that this is powered by the Grand Ole Opry.
I have so much more respect for it now.
Grand Ole Opry. How could you have more respect for the Grand Ole Opry?
So in downtown Nashville, the Goo Goo shop finalized a $2 million transformation and reopened in fall of 2021 as the Goo Goo Chocolate Co., offering interactive classes, a full-service chocolate bar serving premium chocolate, wine and whiskey pairing,
Wow.
Of course.
boozy milkshakes and seasonal treats, and a retail shop
So this is like the Ghirardelli Square
Yes.
Oh my
stores.
God.
of the South. And we should all take a trip down there.
We're going down south. Okay, so
I think we eat it now.
What do we do next? What happens now?
I think that we eat it now.
Okay, so let's look at this package a little bit.
Yeah.
They're individually packaged. It's a
And
nice
they
little-
always come like this. The one you got came
the one,
like
yeah.
this.
So Olivia sent us a box of 3.
Yeah, very nice of her.
Very nice of her.
And anyone could do that. We actually do have someone else that's going to do this soon.
Oh, yeah?
really?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it,
Okay.
but someone will be sending us stuff from outside of this country.
That's
Whoa.
amazing.
Oh, Canada.
Anything you send to us, we'll eat it. But
It's true.
it says on the back how you should eat it if you
Oh,
didn't
what?
see.
Where?
How to enjoy, tear open, place in mouth, chew carefully.
Whoa, slow down. It's
Yeah.
190. How many calories was a Snickers? This is 190 calories.
Oh, I don't remember, but that's a lot of Well, let's
Yeah.
look at the protein. It's only 2 grams of protein.
I feel like the
That's not that much.
Snickers was in the 200s.
Yeah.
And there was
And there
definitely
was
more
way
protein.
more protein. Yeah.
So what's going on with these proteinless peanuts? Huh?
You like when you stand up?
What's the deal with my proteinless peanuts? Oh wait, no, I should be doing it as
Andrew Dice
Andrew Dice
Clay.
Clay. Hickory dickory dock. Where's my protein? Where's all this protein on my? That's how all of his jokes go. So, all right, let's open this thing.
Step 1.
Mine has a little nice Ooh, look at that. This is appealing to me. It's very chocolatey.
Wow.
And it does
It's
look
got
like
peanuts
there's
sticking out of it too.
Mine looks like it's that marshmallow, misleading marshmallow. Yours did not have the perforation, it seems. You're having some trouble.
No, where's the perforation
His is Goo Goo proofed.
for babies? Cat.
And it's also.
Dude, I don't. Oh, there it is.
There we go. You opened it the Western way.
Can you see peanuts at the bottom of your?
I see caramel, I think, at the bottom of
okay.
mine. But mine has what we thought was marshmallow sticking out, but I guess it's nougat. But it
Right.
really looks like this is like the whitest nougat I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
when they stopped doing marshmallow. Marshmallow was part of the original ingredients, but at some point they just kind of nixed it.
Did they just like misprint that it's supposed to be marshmallow and they said it's nougat?
Yeah, and like it's probably illegal to sell, and they like wink like, eh.
Yeah, it's against the Bible to sell marshmallow in Tennessee.
But I really love like when you open a Snickers, all our Snickers would look the same, but Goo Goo Clusters, I feel like each
Ours
one is
look
individual,
different.
Yeah, they're very unique.
and I like that.
It smells really good. This is a really good chocolate smell. All right, should we bite into this thing?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
First bite of Goo Goo Cluster. I'm going to go with my more nougaty side, I think.
Yeah,
Mine was kind of melted. I'm going
yeah.
with the caramel side.
there's marshmallow.
That's marshmallow.
There's marshmallow in here. I like it. It's really good.
How is that not marshmallow?
That's not nougat. There's probably nougat as well.
It's like marshmallow nougat. Marshmallow flavored nougat.
Okay, there are way less peanuts in here than advertised on the cover.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the cover.
It's so lumpy on the cover.
It tastes pretty good, though. I mean, I can taste that it is nougat, but it has the exact texture of a marshmallow. I don't know how they did that. That's pretty good.
It's very
I mean,
good.
it tastes like
It tastes like a Snickers with marshmallow.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
it tastes like a Snickers with marshmallow, even though it's not marshmallow.
I could see someone like freezing these.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that would be good. All right, I'm gonna slice this open and see what it looks like in there. Maybe it'll show more peanutty when I slice it open. Oh, it looks just like how it did with the Snickers, and it has like a really nice. You bit into yours. You didn't slice yours. You don't have. You're not Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
you can see
wow,
that.
that nougat is really thick.
It is thick. Like this is such fluffy nougat. It's way fluffier than Snickers nougat.
Yeah.
The caramel is kind of underwhelming, though. I'm not getting.
That's okay for me because I'm not a huge caramel
Okay.
fan. So I'm getting more. It's Greg, the new term we've learned from TikTok. It's giving. It's giving.
Oh my God, stop.
It's giving Goo Goo.
Let me tell you how phrases work. You start off by making fun of him, like, it's funny that I said that. And then it works into your regular
know.
vocabulary. So in 3 weeks, you're like, this is giving like gas station.
Irony has such a short shelf life that it's just what I say now. I don't even remember what I was going to say. I got so caught up in TikTok language.
It's giving a rock formation. It's giving,
Yeah, it's a way fluffier nougat, but yeah, it's less caramelly.
Yeah.
And I like that because I'm not a huge caramel fan. So it kind of takes that out of the equation of a Snickers bar.
I wish that there were more peanuts because the texture is too mushy, but I wish that there was a little bit of rocks in there.
Yeah, and when you do get a peanut, you're not getting a very satisfying crunch in that peanut.
Way underwhelming on the peanut, but I just realized what this is more like. It's like the inside of a Three Musketeers mixed with a Snickers bar.
You're right.
So I do like that a lot.
Yeah. And this has the advantage over a rocky road, which is what, like,
I've never had one of those.
it's just marshmallow and covered in chocolate. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I do like the marshmallow candies. There's only one of chocolate covered marshmallows. So this could easily replace that as like the soft and the chocolate.
Yeah.
It's definitely nougat. It's just that really fluffy Three Musketeers nougat, which is why I think a frozen one, it would turn to like a
Yeah.
ball of ice cream.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to do
That's what, it reminds me of ice cream. It looks like ice cream.
Yeah, it does look like ice cream. I do like this a lot.
Tastes like ice cream. I like it too.
Yeah.
It's good.
Very good.
It's good.
I could see this sweeping the South.
I can see this burning the Shenandoah Valley. So we got these for free from
Olivia Lind.
You got yours at World Market. How much was it for a northerner?
I want to say around $2 because it's imported from
Nashville.
Nashville.
That's kind of expensive for what the size it is.
Yeah.
Because it's like a Snickers is what, like 150, 175.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a Snickers is way more bar than this. And you've got these proteinless. Well, now we know why the protein count was so low. There's not that many peanuts.
There's not that
Skimpy on the
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
Skimpy on the nuts. Have you gotten one of those before? A Skimpy on the nuts?
My favorite drink at a bar.
Okay, so let's write down out of how many cavities what we would rate this.
Okay.
Out of 0 to 5 cavities, 5 being the most.
All right.
How many cavities would you give this? All right, so everybody's locked into, we cannot change it, we cannot be influenced.
Okay.
So, Beto, what would you give a Goo Goo Cluster? And why?
So I liked it. Overall, I liked it. I think freezing it would definitely enhance it. I felt like the nougat was overwhelming, though. I wasn't getting caramel that much. I wasn't getting peanut.
It wasn't, Greg, let me translate. It wasn't giving.
It wasn't giving marshmallow.
Yeah.
That's on fleek. But that's how you felt the same way about the nougat in the Three Musketeers, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was kind of boring and kind of monotonous.
I think if it was an airy marshmallow, like truly an airy marshmallow, it would elevate this. And then the quality of the chocolate was pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I'm giving this a 2.75.
Great.
Okay, so like I said, I think it has the best part of a Three Musketeers, which is the nougat. It's giving Three Musketeers. It's got big D'Artagnan energy, but so I like that about it. It's definitely lacking in the peanuts.
Yeah.
Like Snickers knocks it out of the park. The northern counterpart knocks it out of the park when it comes to peanuts, which is shocking because this is a southern thing. And as we know, they either like pecans or peanuts down in the South. I did like the nougat. So it had better and worse parts of a Snickers for me, but because I kind of liked it a little bit better, I also gave it a 2.75.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I think I gave a Snickers a 2.5 because I felt it was middle of the road. I think this is a little bit better because of that Three Musketeers like nougat.
I appreciated the chewiness.
Yeah.
Chewiness is...
It made it a little more satisfying than a Snicker.
Yeah.
And made it feel more filling.
More satisfying than a Snickers satisfies?
That's their slogan. That's written on the wrapper.
Like this amount of peanut, like a little trace of peanut, which I feel like there should be more, and the sort of caramel kind of maybe is what a Three Musketeers is missing to break up the monotony of a Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to, my I don't know if we're going to me yet, but.
I
conclude
conclude my argument.
It's such a good middle ground between a Three Musketeers and a Snickers. It kind of does what the other is not doing.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
It even looks like it's like a candy bar being pulled at both sides by the two, and it's just like a round mass.
I wish that there was more texturally interesting things, like they're just like peanuts or pecans, or like the wrapper makes it seem like
the wrapper is so misleading.
Covered in boils.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. They never said these are peanuts.
Yeah.
These are the burst.
Yeah, this is a leper. I really did like the taste. I like the quantity or the size of it. I like the size of it. How much, like it's probably like 5 bites or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that filling, but it still is substantial. I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Whoa!
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you really enjoyed
that blew me out of my seat.
So you like this more than a Snickers bar?
I like it probably the same as a Snickers bar.
Do you remember what you gave Snickers?
No, I probably gave it high because I do enjoy a Snickers. I want to say I gave it just about the same, maybe a 3.5.
You know, I think price has a big say over how much you enjoy something. Free is always better.
Yeah, always.
If this was like $1, I think this would be great
Yeah.
for the size or quality that it is.
Yeah.
But for $2 for a more expensive than a standard candy bar and to get less of a candy bar, it's a little disappointing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if in Nashville they're paying less for it because they want to ship it far.
Yeah. And they don't pay taxes in Nashville.
Just ask Jack White.
Yeah, that's why Jack White went there.
You don't have to ship Jack White stuff, so that's why he does it there. Yeah, no, I really like this candy. It's really good. After I had it, well, okay, I cheated. I went a little earlier than you guys because I did the research and I thought there's no way that I can't not eat one of these things. I really enjoyed it, and I was like, okay, well, that was good candy. I could see that, me eating more of these. And like maybe 2 hours passed, and I was like, I need another one. Like it hit again once I saw like the cover in the trash.
As they say on TikTok, that hits different. But So would you be excited? Let's start again with you, Beto. Would you be excited to get this on Halloween? Maybe if you're in Nashville telling Halloween jokes.
Yeah.
Not Nashville, St. Louis.
St. Louis. I mean, in Nashville, who knows what they make you do for trick-or-treating?
Oh, man, I don't even want to know.
They hand you a banjo, and they're like, you got to be the devil if you want to get candy today. Damn it.
You have to write a Jack White lyric.
You got a pretty bag. I would totally be excited.
Yeah.
I probably would even trade my Snickers out for these guys.
Whoa.
There's
see?
something very mouthy and satisfying.
Yeah.
Maybe the flavor isn't quite as good as a Snickers.
Maybe.
But there's a satisfying bite to these guys.
I agree
and it's
with
so
you.
dense.
It's that chewy nougat that I think
Yeah.
makes it more fun to eat. Like Snickers has more of a crunch almost, which is kind of what we're missing from. Like I don't know what we want. Like we kind of want the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want it to be chewy, but at the same time, I still want that fluffy marshmallow.
Yeah.
What's going on?
We call the Three Musketeers too boring.
Yeah.
And I think we said, I forgot what we said about, we might have said the same thing about Snickers.
Like,
and it being-
I certainly said it's too boring and standard and common. It's common.
It's just common people candy, and I won't mess with it, Daddy. So this is like, I think like what we're looking for is something, a perfected version of a Goo Goo Cluster. Like something just a little bit, pushes a little bit further.
Yeah. Maybe the Goo Goo Supreme.
Here it is. You get Ghirardelli chocolate.
Ooh.
You get the luscious, gooey caramel, but you put a little bit less. Then you jam-pack that sucker full of peanuts.
Yeah.
Maybe sprinkle the top with pecans.
Oh, yeah. And then pump in all the marshmallows
Yep.
that allow. You melt the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man down, and his entire body will just go into one single Goo Goo Cluster.
We need to hit up that make your own Goo Goo.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should be ordering
This is
that.
why they have the make your own Goo Goo.
Yeah.
This is what it's there for. So on Halloween, I would be excited because it's so novel.
Yeah.
I've never trick-or-treated in Nashville. God willing, I will someday. But I have
You
never.
can't, Daniel. You're not allowed that.
In Nashville, the age of trick-or-treating is raised. I would be excited because it's, how often would you see that?
Yeah.
But when you put it in the context of trading it out for a regular Snickers, I'd be really excited. Like if I could trade a Snickers for a Goo Goo Cluster,
Oh, yeah.
a fun-sized Snickers, any day of the week, I will make that trade.
I would definitely be excited to get this on Halloween. Yeah, it's any kind of cluster is good. Between Nerds clusters and Goo Goo Clusters, any clusters that you
true.
throw
Yeah.
at me, I just like throw me a big wad of candy and I'll eat it. But yeah, these are delicious, and I'd like a bag full of them.
That's true. Clusters are good.
Yeah, clusters,
Clusters
are
are
in.
in.
It's giving clusters.
Clusters are in for 2023. Honey
Boo Boo is out.
Honey Boo Boo making a comeback for 2024.
You know what I noticed for a lot of candies? We were always like, this is too much. The fun size is better. But we had no complaints about the size of this candy.
I certainly didn't. Yeah.
I would want more of
Yeah.
this size of Goo Goo Supreme. But
Yeah, let me get that King Goo Goo.
But this is a good amount. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, a little bit cheaper, I think.
Sure.
Maybe it's cheaper in the South. I don't know. Everything's cheaper in the South.
Not confirmed, by the way. I know my prices. Okay.
I mean, an above average candy and sort of a good alternative to Snickers, really.
Yeah, it is.
If I see this around, I'm going to get another one.
It definitely worth your time, worth your money. Give
Yeah.
it a try.
Especially in California where you won't normally get one of
Yeah.
these. Come on, give the Goo Goo a try.
Come on, try it.
So we're going to do our plug that we want to do before the game so people won't tune out after the game.
They tune out for the games now.
So I know. I was here for the plugs. So before we get to our game, as always, we're going to ask you to do one thing each episode. One thing only for us.
Please.
Yeah.
Pretty Goo Goo.
will you rob a liquor store for us?
Will you put on this Reagan mask? Join our gang. So for this episode, what we want to do, we haven't asked this in a little bit. Subscribe to our Patreon,
Yeah.
patreon.com/candyisdandy. We have a $1 level for general support, and the $3 level will you will get a personalized drawing of yourself as your favorite candy at the $3 level. You just have to give me your information of what you want. We'll send it to our resident artist, Kevin Smith, not that one. Or if a monthly commitment is too much for you, a one-time $7 donation, you can also get the drawing. Or if you just really like an episode, you could give us a one-time donation. Just email us, candyisdandypodcast@gmail.com, or message us at candyisdandypod on social media to find out how. It helps us keep the lights on to
It
give
does.
us money.
Yeah.
Or you can send us candy every single month, well, one or the other. But we appreciate everyone listening, but money makes the world go round.
And hit up our Instagram if you want to see those pictures because those drawings are really good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
They are great. They are a lot of fun.
Kevin's a talented guy.
He is a very talented artist who is doing this for a shockingly low amount of money that we're giving him.
And like he made Clerks and he can do anything he wants now.
I
But
know.
now he's drawing. It's a different one. You're saying?
No, that's it.
It's the same guy.
He could be buying jorts right now. Okay, so that's our plug. So let's go to the game. Okay, this is a fun game. We've never done this one before.
Okay.
So we are dipping our toes back into my sister's elementary school class.
Oh, here we go.
But this is I sprees. Now we know kids don't know Roman numerals.
And we don't know numbers.
But this is a different thing. So to recap, my sister teaches a first grade class. Sometimes what happens is the kids like to write jokes. They like to write jokes in class, and the punchlines apparently make no sense at all.
Oh, I love it. I bought one of those kids write jokes books, and they were so funny.
So what we did here, my sister had her students write some jokes about candy for us.
Oh, yes.
So what we're going to do, Melissa, she emailed them to Melissa, and Melissa is going, Melissa's going to come in right now and do her Andrew Dice Clay impression.
Leather jacket, hair pompadoured up.
She wrote down on different things the joke on one piece of paper and the punchline on another. So let's try to guess what the punchline is going to be for each joke and see how close we can get and see how funny these jokes are.
Kids' jokes are always like, why did the giraffe eat the banana? He doesn't like bananas. You're like, what?
I'm expecting a lot of roads.
Yeah, a lot of gaps in logic.
My sister has said in the past that a lot of the punchlines are poo poo pee pee.
Oh, hell. Yeah, mine too.
So we did comedy for a long time.
Yeah.
That was our bread and butter. Or rather, that was our poo poo pee pee. Okay, so let's get into the first.
Did we open with a goo goo poo poo joke?
Well, who do you think wrote that? You think I write this stuff? You think I could come up with this? Okay, so let's get into the first joke here. This is the first setup for a joke.
So wait, are we randomly opening jokes and then randomly opening
No.
punchlines?
This is the joke one setup, and then we have the joke one punchline. These are
got
how the artist intended them to be
Okay.
read, and we'll try to guess what the punchlines are. So this
Okay.
setup: why did the nut say chocolate nuts?
Why did the nut say chocolate nuts? It's a poo-poo joke.
To go chocolate crazy? I'm thinking as a first grader and not with my genius comedy mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say to go chocolate crazy.
Because nut butts.
Yeah, it's gonna
Nut butts. That's good.
it's gonna be peanuts and poo related.
So, okay, why did the nut say chocolate nuts? Let's open this answer here.
Very casually using a knife he
I
can
know.
cut his hand with.
Okay, why did the nut say chocolate nuts since one of them is chocolate and the other is nuts?
Oh, chocolate nut.
Nut.
Chocolate's nuts. The chocolate is
Chocolate
nuts.
nuts.
Why did
The chocolate's crazy.
Why did the nut say chocolate nuts since one of them is chocolate and the other is nuts?
That's pretty funny.
So I guess they were addressing two separate things.
Yeah.
Chocolate nuts.
Chocolate
One's
nuts.
chocolate, one's nuts, meaning it's crazy.
Yeah. That's funny.
You know, like how I walked in here and I said, hey, chocolate nuts. One of you's chocolate, one of you's nuts. Because one of you's crazy. Okay. I mean,
it.
that kind of makes sense.
No. I follow that logic, and it's pretty funny.
It's no Andrew Dice Clay. I mean, can we get a Hickory Dickory Dock going here? Okay, so joke number 2 set up. Why did the Skittles cross the road?
Oh,
Yes, I got my road.
To get to the end of the rainbow?
yeah. I want to say to get to the end.
That's more like logical than
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other one's nuts.
That's more first grader. I
That's
mean,
true.
I like it.
Why did the Skittles cross the road? To get to the other cyan. To get to the other cyan. Kids know cyan.
Yeah, they know Cyan. She's like a TA, right?
Why did the Skittle? Single Skittle?
Skittles cross the
multiple
road.
Skittles.
Multiple Skittles cross the road.
I think it's to get to the end of the rainbow.
I'm leaning rainbow, but I'm just
Yeah.
going to classic to get to the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did the Skittles cross the road? Because they got crushed by a car.
All right. Now I know where my brain needs to be.
Why did the Skittles cross the road? Because they got crushed by a car. This is gruesome. These jokes are getting disgusting.
I'm loving these.
Okay, why did the M&Ms cross the road?
To pick up the Skittles.
Yeah, good.
Okay, I've got an original punchline. Because they got crushed by a car.
Because they just hit Skittles.
Yeah, they wanted to see if Skittles were okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Why did the M&Ms cross the road? Because they are dumb.
I absolutely know what they're talking about. That I agree.
Well, we know one of them's dumb.
Maybe they saw Skittles cross the road and get crushed.
Yeah.
So why would they cross the road?
Because they're dumb.
Yeah.
This
They
won't
are
happen to
dumb.
us. That'll never happen to me. That'll never be me.
The M&Ms will never be canceled.
That's deep.
Yeah. So, okay, next one. Why did the Kit Kat crunch? Because it got crushed by the same car as the other
Yeah.
ones.
Because he was eating cat food.
Yeah, I was chewing cat food.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Kit Kat Crunch. It's got to be another chocolate candy to be the answer.
Because poop.
Because poop.
Because poo-poo pee-pee.
Because Mr. Goodbar snickered.
That's not bad. Okay,
Pretty
so
smart guy.
why did the Kit Kat crunch? Because it's a crunchy rock.
Oh, I did not consider the fact that it was a crunchy
I
rock.
think the logic is deteriorating a
Stupid
little
me.
bit. Duh. So now we've got, why are Sour Patch Kids sour?
Oh, we actually did research on this.
Because of the citric acid. Because they don't know where their parents are.
Yeah,
They can't find their Sour Patch parents.
because they're dumb.
They were orphaned by tarts.
Yeah.
Okay. These kids love talking about orphans. Okay. Why are the Sour Patch Kids sour? Because first they're sour, then they're sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, see, we're back to logic. I can't keep up.
Why are they sour? Because they're sour.
Because first they're sour, then they're sweet.
I guess they're sour that they have to get sweet at the end.
Yeah.
And they're upset about that.
I would be.
I mean, kids hate being sweet, so. Okay, next one. Why did the Skittles cross the road?
Okay, wait. This is like some Inception crossing now. all
These
right?
kids, I think, are messing with us.
To get away from the car that the M&Ms were driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we know how the story goes.
Yeah, a tale as old as time. You can't escape the M&M car. Why did the Skittles cross the road? Because they were trying to see all the dead Skittles and M&Ms on the other side. Of the road.
Funeral.
Because it was a funeral.
Yeah,
It was
'cause
a
it was a
Skittle
funeral.
funeral.
There's candy on the road.
Yeah, free candy on the road.
Okay, why did the Skittles cross the road again? Because he was stupid.
I almost said.
We're stupid for not guessing that.
I almost said because they're dumb.
Look, jokes as they are from these kids, and funny ones at that,
Yeah.
they're also right. Every single one has been right.
It's funny because it's true.
Our final setup. Why did the peppermint patty go on a date?
Okay.
Oh, boy.
This feels like one
This
that's going to make
This
sense.
Yeah.
one's going to make sense.
Because it needed a reason to freshen up. It
I like
needed
that.
someone to freshen up, something
like
like
that.
that. It could be a Charlie Brown thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
It didn't. It's stupid.
Because it was stupid. That's always the escape hatch. Why did the peppermint patty go on a date?
Yeah.
Because he had a candy crush.
See?
What?
That's
Oh,
good.
That's really good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Damn.
And that one written by Don Rickles. Wow.
Little Donnie Rickles.
No relation.
No.
Son of Kevin Smith, no relation.
Yeah.
Well, that's our episode on Goo Goo Clusters.
Goo Goo
We got
gaga.
some jokes from some people who were saying Goo Goo not too long
Yeah,
ago.
that's right.
Thank you again for
Yeah.
sending us not you, Greg. I'm
Oh, no, I was agreeing with you. Thank you. Thank you for sending us
Thank
those.
you for
They were
sending
delicious.
us the Goo Goo Clusters.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were very
appreciate
good. They were very good. Not very great, but very good. And thank you to the children for writing us jokes.
Thank you to all the children across the world.
So we'll see you in a couple weeks or a week maybe if we have
Yeah.
a bonus thing. But
Have a gooey chewy day.
see you down at the Grand Ole Opry, you hear? Yeah. Goo goo goodbye.
As we close all country western things that we talk about.